Happy New Year. Today's practice will be a gentle, soothing flow to help us disconnect from 2020 and just reconnect to the present, to the now, 2021, to help us on our path of growth, evolution, and to just welcome in what is to come for us in 2021. So today we'll actually start in child's pose. We will be using some props. If you have a strap, you can grab that now, or a belt, a towel will work as well. Also, we'll be using a block. If you don't have a block, that's okay. You could use a book or a pillow. It's fine as well. I always have a blanket just for some extra padding, a mat, or you could use a blanket as well for your mat. So let's just go ahead and get comfortable, find a nice quiet space for your practice today, and we'll start in child's pose. So just coming onto our knees, the big toes will touch here, and send the knees nice and wide. And then we're going to reach the hands out in front of us as we begin to send the chest down to the earth. We want to settle the hips back to the heels here. So we're just going to begin to settle, surrender down to the earth beneath us. You can always use a pillow or a block underneath the forehead here. You can even put a pillow or a blanket beneath the knees. Your child's pose may be a bit higher. You may be here. So just wherever you feel comfortable, we want you to relax. No tightening of the glutes or anything like that here. So just begin to settle in, reaching the sacrum towards the heels. So just becoming present in this moment. Bringing the mind into the body. Just coming forward with the willingness to start new, to evolve, and to grow. So let's just take a couple of breaths here to welcome all of that in. Maybe you begin deepening the breath. Beginning listening to the sounds of your breath as you inhale and exhale out the nose. On your next inhale, lifting the gaze, let's walk the hands over to the left side of the mat. Maybe you come off the mat, and that's okay. Inhale as we look over the fingertips, and on the exhale, again, surrender down, lowering the forehead. Keeping that right hip planted down as best as you can, getting a little bit of a side body stretch. And lifting the gaze, once again, walking through center and over to the right side of the mat. Again, we inhale as we look past the fingertips. Exhale, surrender the chest down. Also allowing the left hip to surrender down to the heel. Inhaling breath in between each one of the ribs on the left side of the body. Creating space. Inhale, we lift the gaze, walk the hands back through center. Now, if this is too much for you to stay here in child's pose, you can always lift up to a tabletop position. Otherwise, we'll stay down low, coming into a thread the needle. So our gaze is lifted. We're going to take the right arm and thread it underneath the left. So we can rest right down onto that right shoulder. And we can rest down onto the right side of the head as well. Getting a nice stretch on that right shoulder and on the back of the right shoulder here. So the left arm can stay planted where it is. It can reach up overhead, but you can also bring it around to the low back. Your choice here. Taking a couple deep breaths, relaxing the body down, softening the hips, loosening through the jaw. If you've moved that left hand, let's plant it now right next to the head as we lift up and bring that right arm back. I like to place it on my forearm. And now the left hand, now we'll just thread it underneath that right arm. So we come to the opposite side, resting down onto the left shoulder and the left side of the head. And you can do the same with the right arm on this side as you did on the other side. Just to even it out here. Each one of these poses, you can come back to that oceanic sound of your breath as you inhale through the nose and exhale out the nose. Inviting softness into your body, inviting growth, inviting change and evolution, all the things for 2021. Bringing that right arm back to the mat. Coming back to center, we actually are going to now lift right up to tabletop position. So the knees will need to come in underneath the hips here. So the knees will rest. The knees will be directly below the hips. The feet are in line with the knees. The wrists are below the shoulders. Hug those ribs up and in. Press the ground away. Fingers are nice and wide, feeling nice and grounded and stable in our tabletop position. Your gaze will be down at the floor, creating a nice long line from the tailbone all the way out the crown of the head. Let's take the right foot, we'll send it back into space, coming onto our toes here. And then just begin to bounce a little bit, forward and back. Just feeling a nice stretch through the back of the leg, the calf muscle. Maybe just hold there, so whatever feels nice for you. And now taking that same foot, the right foot, let's send it over top of the left, planting it outside of that left foot. We'll send the right hip way to the opposite direction. And maybe you could take the gaze over the left shoulder and look back at that right foot, getting a nice right side body stretch. Don't forget to breathe. Come back to your breath here. And if this is too much, you can always take the gaze away. So always just go to your edge. I just offer the different variations. And when you're ready, bring the gaze back, unwind the leg, knee comes back below the hip, and we'll just switch to the other side. Let's send that left foot back onto the toes, rocking the weight back and forth, maybe holding that stretch back, really stretching out the calf. This feels so good. Remember to hug up those ribs, keep pressing the earth away. We don't want to dump down. Awareness through the entire body here. And now crossing the left foot over top of the right, coming to the outside of the right side of your mat. You could send this left hip away, you could send it out to the left side. And then if you'd like, you could take your gaze over the right shoulder to look at that foot, getting a nice side body stretch. Again, make sure you're hugging that low belly up to the spine. Coming back to the breath. Inviting the breath to relax from the tip of the head, down the spine, through the legs, to the feet. Exhaling it all the way back, up the legs, through the spine, out the mouth. Bringing the gaze forward, uncrossing the legs, we come back to our tabletop position. If you'd like, you can sit back. Shake those wrists out a little bit, do some wrist circles. Maybe just shake them some. Coming back to tabletop. Make sure those fingers are spread nice and wide. Come into some cat-cows just to warm up the spine a little bit. On an inhale breath, we'll lower the abdomen down towards the mat as the tailbone lifts, the chin lifts, the gaze comes out in front. On an exhale breath, begin to reverse that. Gaze comes down, rounding through the spine, gaze comes to the belly button. Inhale, begin to lower the belly button, lift the gaze. Exhale to round. And then just begin to move with your breath. See if you can let your breath initiate the movement. So begin your inhale breath and then begin the movement. Begin exhaling and then round the spine. And maybe you add some other movements in here. So anything that feels good. Remember, this is for you. What's good about watching a video is that nobody can see you. So you can do whatever you want. Close your eyes and just do what feels good in your body. moving with your breath. Warming up those vertebrae. Next time you come through a neutral spine, we'll end that movement. And from here, we're going to move into a puppy pose, coming into a chest opener. So we're in our tabletop, hugging the navel into the spine. The hips are stacked over the knees, and we're going to step the hands out, big step in front. And then slowly lower the chest down to the earth. So we can come onto the chin or the forehead here. And of course, you can always put a block in front of you as a support or a pillow. Try to opening up through the shoulders, okay? So we're opening through the shoulders, through the chest here. So just allow this area to open. We don't want to tense it. We want to release it open. So hips stay high in our puppy pose. Come back to your breath. On your inhale breath, send breath to those areas of tightening, tension. And when you exhale, imagine releasing that tension, that darkness, that tightness away from the body. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you. Notice if there's other parts of the body that are clenching. And see if you can invite those areas of the body to release. From our puppy pose, lift the gaze, and we're going to shift the weight forward onto the forearms and come right down onto the belly. Moving into a Sphinx pose. So in Sphinx pose, we're on the tops of our feet, tops of the thighs, on the pelvic bone, but then the belly is lifted gently from the mat. The elbows are below the shoulders or just a little in front. Fingertips are spread nice and wide, pressing away so we're not dumping down into the shoulders. Lifting up nice and high, lifting those rib cages. And imagine that you're trying to slide your body forward in between the fingers and the hands. Bring the gaze gently in front of you. And now imagine maybe slightly tucking the chin just to create a straight line with the neck and the spine. Press into the tops of the toes. Press into the pelvic area, the pelvis, the pelvic bone. Lift up through the abdomen, helping to protect the low back. Now try not to clench the glute muscles, the buttocks. Practice relaxing the glute muscles. And now let's come back to the breath here. Nice controlled inhale through the nose. And a controlled exhale out the nose. Imagining broadening through the collarbones, drawing the chest forward between the hands. Exhale as we slide a little closer like we're seals sliding across the ice. One more nice, controlled, long breath here. Now slowly lower the torso down, bringing the elbows to the outsides. Rest the palms on top of one another, and the forehead will rest on the back of the palms. Coming into crocodile pose. The big toes will point in towards one another. Relax the entire body. You may even gently rock the hips side to side just to release the low back. Use this time to recenter. Come back to the oceanic breathing. Think of that oceanic breath as your new 2021 and what it holds for you. Allowing yourself to surrender down to the earth. Allowing yourself to surrender to what holds true for your 2021. On your next inhale, let's lift the gaze. The left arm will tent up out to the side of the body, tenting it up on your fingertips. And the right arm can come to a goalpost type out to the right side of the body. Bending the left knee. And from here, we're going to come into a chest stretch. So we're going to begin to roll to the right, coming onto the right hip. And we'll bring the right or that left foot with us. Now it'll either come behind. I'm too close to the wall. It'll either come behind the bottom leg or you can use it in front. So the left hand and the left leg are just being used to support us. So this right arm, where we place it is going to determine our stretch on that right chest side. So take a minute to adjust yourself where you can hold in this pose. So you want to come to an edge. You don't want to feel pain. You want to feel a little bit of a stretch. So let's take a second to find that position. So the arm can be straight out. So it could be straight out like this, or it can be like this. The right arm, the one that we're going to stretch. The head will stay down on the mat. So the right side of the head is on the mat. Once you find your position, try to relax the head down. Try to be relaxed. Maybe close the eyes and come back to the breath. Listen to the breath. If you've come too far into the stretch, it's okay. Come out a little bit. Take one more nice deep breath here. And then the exhale, gently release down. Placing the hands again with the elbows out, the palms in front of the body, and we're going to actually rest on the left side of the head this time. Just here for about 2 breaths. And then lifting the gaze, moving on to the other side. This can be a very intense stretch, but it's very effective, especially if you sit a lot. As most of us do, we have that forward rolling of the body, driving, texting, reading, writing, sewing, doing dishes, pretty much everything. So this time we're going to bring the left arm out to either the T, like an airplane arm straight out, or you can bring it to like a goalpost arm. Tent up the right fingers, bend the right leg, and we begin to roll onto the left side. The left side of the head stays on the floor. And again, take your time getting to your edge here. And again, the foot can be in the front or the back of the straight leg, wherever you need support. And then once you find your edge, begin breathing fresh oxygen into those muscles. Just reminding them that it's okay to relax. It's okay to lessen, not tighten. It's okay. We don't have to be scrunched up. There is no threat. We're safe. Exhale away that tension, that tightness. Come back to that ocean. Take one more nice, gentle, slow, controlled breath here. And then take your time as you roll back onto your belly. Nice, slow, controlled movements. Both palms come back to the center of the mat, and we'll rest the right cheek now down onto the palms. And just notice any sensations you feel through the body. Become aware of any feelings you may be having, of any thoughts. Take note of any areas that may still be tense. And now slowly lift your gaze. We're going to bring the hands right beside the chest. Elbows will be hugged into the body. We're going to come into baby cobra. So we're going to press firmly into the ground. Toes are still pressed into the ground as well. Pressing the hands in. Your gaze should be maybe right to the top of your mat. Keep those elbows hugged in. And as you press into the ground, we're going to slowly lift the chest just a little bit. And then we'll exhale, lower down. And we'll do one more time. Let's inhale as we begin to press and lift. And exhale and lower. Imagine that the crown is growing taller towards the front of the mat. On an inhale, lift. Hug the elbows in. Draw the shoulder blades down the back of the spine. Exhale and lower. One more time, hug those elbows in. Shoulder blades draw towards the tailbone. Inhale, lifting towards the front of the mat so we don't crease or kink the low back here. And then we'll lower back down on an exhale. This time press into the hands and we're going to lift our bodies all the way up and come into a child's pose. You can keep the knees together if that feels okay, and just relax the abdomen onto the legs and lower the head down. You can have a pillow or a block. Head can come to the floor. And even relax the arms beside the body here. And just allow everything to melt and curve right around your thighs. Let those shoulders surrender down. Let the chest relax all the way. Around the knees, the thighs. Bring your awareness back to your breath. You're welcome to stay here, child's pose, a little longer if you'd like. Or you can come with me, gently lifting the gaze. Coming into a child or tabletop position. From here, we're going to move into a deer pose. To come into deer pose, we will bring the right knee to the back of the right wrist. And then the right foot will come in front of the left knee. And then I'm just going to sit back. So you can draw that back heel in towards the buttocks. Essentially, this will be your deer pose. This can be a variation for pigeon. If you're more advanced, you're more than welcome to take pigeon pose here. I like to turn my torso a little bit more over the front right knee here. The arms, we can place the hands. We're going to send them, we're going to square them over that front right leg. And of course, I'm just on my fingertips here. And we want to open our chest up. And I'm turning that back hip, squaring my hips essentially over this front right leg. So I'm feeling a nice stretch right now on this back leg. Just going to your edge. This is in your practice today. Maybe We can imagine that our upper chest is like a sail. So it's just caught maybe a gust of wind as we inhale. We can imagine that sail rises, broadens, and just floats with ease. Maybe we work our hands a little more firmly into the floor. Allow this updraft to fill out the chest's natural contours with our breath. Inhale as we just feel that sail. Broadening. Rising. You're more than welcome to stay here. You could also begin to fold over that front leg, beginning to feel a stretch now in the right hip. And you can always stay upright here. So again, your choice. Wherever you are, please come back to your breath. Listen to the oceanic breath. Think of the sail. As you inhale, maybe the chest opens. As you exhale, maybe it folds down. And inhale as we lift back up all together. Turn in the torso now towards the front. Let's straighten this back leg out in front of us. And bring our right leg up. We can either just keep it where it is or we can cross it over that left leg. So your choice here, coming into a twist. The right arm can come behind the body. Let's inhale the left arm up and overhead. And exhale as we bring that elbow to the outside of the right leg. And we will twist towards the right and open. Keeping that left foot flexed, protecting the leg, the knee. So we'll imagine inhaling as we grow tall. Maybe our sail grows nice and tall. And on the exhale, we twist, and the gaze can go over the back shoulder. We'll stay here for a couple breaths. And then slowly unwinding, coming back to the front, unwinding both legs. And we're gonna come to the other side, deer pose. Right leg now comes to the back. The left leg will be the front leg. So we'll turn the torso over top of this front leg here. The left leg will be the front leg now. You may already notice a difference from one side to the other. So coming over top, I'm tending my fingers up. My hips, I'm trying to go ahead and square them over that left leg, and I can feel a stretch right now in the front of that right leg. And again, I'm broadening through my chest, lifting up as the wind, on my inhale, the wind is taking my sail, opening up, rising. And again, if you would like, you can always float that back leg into full pigeon here. Or you could stay right here in deer pose. Think about broadening through the collarbones. And you're welcome to stay right here where you are, or you can begin to fold over that front leg. You can rest your head on a block here if you'd like. Bring in the stretch now to that left hip, outer left hip. Bringing the breath with you, continuing that flow. If you've folded, we'll begin to rise back up. Coming back to the center, we'll straighten the back leg. The left leg comes up. You can stay here or you can cross it over. I'm going to flex my straight leg foot. The left arm comes behind. Inhale the right arm overhead. Right arm comes to the outside of the left leg as I twist to the left. Inhale, grow nice and tall through the spine. Exhale to twist. Maybe your gaze goes over the back shoulder. Maybe 2 more breaths here. Slowly coming back to the front, gently unwinding both legs straight out in front, flexing the feet. Maybe you can scrunch up those toes, then flex. You might hear some crunching and crackling. That's okay. And then try to sit up nice and tall. Both sit bones on the mat. Sitting up nice and tall, and sometimes this in of itself can be difficult. This uses a lot of muscles. You can use the hands behind the hips to help you to sit up nice and tall. You might want to try practicing this every day. And we're going to inhale the arms overhead. And on the exhale, let's begin to bend from the torso, from the hips. I'm sorry, not the torso, from the hip joints. Bend forward, reaching for our toes, even if we don't come meet them. We want to reach for them. Come as far as you can with a nice flat, straight back, and then let the hands fall wherever they come. Keep that back nice and flat. You may take a gentle bend in the knees. The toes are coming back towards your face. So again, take a nice big inhale as you reach the crown of your head up nice and tall. And on the exhale, now begin to round and lower the head. Let that head just hang heavy now. Let the neck be heavy. Let's take another nice inhale as we send that crown of our head up nice and tall and take a nice flat spine again. Inhale to come flat spine, toes come back again towards the face. So we're reaching through the spine to get a nice, through the crown to get a nice flat spine. And then exhale to fold again. Feel that nice stretch through the back of the legs. And then use your hands. We'll just walk ourselves back up. Draw the feet in towards the pelvis. The soles of the feet will touch. Coming into butterfly cobbler's pose here. Everybody's going to look different. Yours may be out here. Wherever you are comfortable is where you will go today. Draw the heels as close as you can to your pelvis to where it's comfortable. No pain, where you are comfortable. So sitting here wherever you can clasp, if it's the shins, the ankles, that's where you will be today. If you can clasp the hands around the toes, go ahead and do so. And then I want you to take a nice lifting of the spine here. Lifting as high as you can to get a nice trap stretch. This feels so good. So you can do this even grabbing the ankles. You want to hold on to those ankles and lift the upper body to the heavens above to really feel that stretch right here. You can also feel gravity sending those knees down towards the ground. Now bring the breath in and just let your body relax. Let the muscles lengthen. Gently, we're just going to go ahead and release here. And let's allow the left leg to come out to the side. Send it long. And again, I have that left foot flex. Make sure both sit bones are on the mat here. And I'm going to take my left hand and let it slide on the inside of my leg. Inhale the right arm up and over. And just reaching overhead. I'm reaching for my toes. Not quite there. But feeling a nice stretch from the right hip all the way up the right side of my body. Separating all the ribs up through my armpit. Even an inner thigh stretch. Keeping the head neutral, being mindful of the entire body here. So we come to our breath. Maybe you look up, opening through the chest. You can look down. We'll inhale, come back up, bringing that right arm right down beside the body. Inhale the left arm up as we lift onto our right knee, reaching overhead, really stretching out the entire body here. And then slowly lowering back down into both sit bones. And we'll draw the left foot in and send the right leg out. And we'll do the same thing on this side. Immediately I can feel a stretch on the inside of this right leg. I have my right foot flexed and I'll use my right arm with the palm facing up just to slide, to guide me down this leg. So inhaling the left arm up and overhead as I begin to reach towards my toes. And one side may be different than the other. Just reach the best that you can. Stretch, keeping this left hip planted. So we feel that stretch from the left hip all the way out the left fingertips. Breathe here. Inhale, slowly come back up. Plant that left hand on the mat beside you. Inhale as we rise onto this left knee. Reach that right arm overhead. Watch out for the tree. Complete stretch for the entire right side body. And then slowly lower all the way back down. I love that stretch. Feels so good. We are going to make our way now onto our backs. If you have a strap and a block or something, a pillow, you'll want to bring those with you now. Make sure they're where you can reach them. So coming all the way down onto our back, you can come onto your side and use your arms to assist you down. Or you can use your hands behind your thighs and just round your back and come down one vertebrae at a time. Either way, draw the knees into the chest. Just take a moment here. We're just allowing the spinal column, the fluid in the spinal cord, to acclimate to this horizontal position now. Maybe you can gently, just gently rock side to side or in little circles. Hug the knees into the chest, and then we will bring both feet back down onto the mat. Taking the strap now, or a belt, a tie, a towel. A towel will work as well. And we'll place it around the ball of the right foot. And then we're going to extend that foot up to the sky. And just stretch out the back of the leg here. Just begin to relax now as you feel the earth beneath you, supporting your body. Maybe draw the leg a little closer to your face. And now take the strap in the right arm, in the right hand, The left arm will come out to the side. And then slowly allow the right leg to fall out to the outside, fall to the right, as far as you can go till you feel a stretch. And then slowly bringing it back up. And we'll switch and take the strap now in the left hand, and the right arm comes down to the side. And just very gently cross the leg over to the left side. Now you're going to feel an intense stretch down the outside of the leg, hitting the IT band here. So you may not be able to go far. I like to try to keep my hips down as much as I can so I'm not just rolling over, to really get into that IT
IT band more. Try to keep the foot flexed as much as possible. And then slowly come back up, and you can release the strap, and we'll just switch legs. So bringing the left foot now, wrapping the strap around the ball of the foot, and we'll straighten that leg up to the sky. So the key to stretching is to always go till you feel a little bit of a stretch and then holding it there. And then after a little bit, take it a little bit further and holding it there. So you don't want to go to a place of pain and try to hold it. You just want to go to a place of a little bit of a stretch and hold it for a couple breaths, and then go a little bit further, still not pain. A little bit more of a stretch. So let's do that now. Let's see if we can go a little bit closer to the face without experiencing pain. And hold it for a couple breaths. Check in with your face and your jaw right now and see if you're clenching anywhere or tightening. Maybe like make some crazy jaw opening. Loosen up that jaw. All right, from here, let's take the strap into the left hand. The right arm will come out to the side, and we'll drop that leg towards the left now to stretch the inner thigh. Taking it as far to the left as possible before you feel that stretch. Once you start feeling that stretch, we'll hold it right there. Again, we're trying to keep both hips stable on the mat. We're also using the planted right foot for stability and the right arm out to the side. Keeping your strap nice and tight. And of course, we're coming back to our breath. So you want to stay with the breath to help the body remain relaxed here. Relaxing the muscle, allowing it to stretch, giving yourself permission to be relaxed. Slowly rising the leg back up. Now taking the strap in the right hand, left arm comes to the side, and very slowly cross it over the body till you feel a little bit of a stretch here in the IT band, all on the outside of the leg. So again, try to keep that left hip down onto the mat as best as you can. So I don't want you just rolling over. We're trying to stay down and crossing the leg to get really into that stretch of the IT band. Check in that the foot is still flexed and breathe. Next, inhale, draw the foot back up overhead. Release the strap. You can take it to the side now. Bring both knees into the chest. And let's take the hands and place them on top of the kneecaps. And we're just going to take the knees, send them away from one another, and draw big circles with the knees. To the outsides, they come back and meet. Back to the chest. Outside. Just really getting into those hip joints, lubricating them up, and then stopping and going in the other direction. Bringing this movement to an end, let's lower the feet down onto the mat, drawing the heels as close to the buttocks as we can. And now if you have a block or a pillow, press into the heels as we lift the back, and the block is going to be placed on the sacrum, so the flat part of the lower back. So you can use a pillow or a folded pillow, or you can use a towel here. So it'll be in the lowest part of the back, kind of the flat area. So you may want to adjust it. So this should feel good. So that shouldn't be uncomfortable or painful. This should feel really good to be able to rest yourself down onto this. A book, if you have a big thick book, that could even help or work. But it should feel very comfortable. Now, if you have any issues with your sacral area of your back or your sacrum, skip this part and just stay without a block. Once you find your position, the hands can either rest on the hip joints or they can be down by the sides with the palms facing up. Coming into a supported bridge pose here. And we are going to just surrender down one last time into our earth, into our 2021. Come back to our oceanic breath. Give ourselves permission to relax and surrender. You may choose to stay in this pose through Shavasana, or you can begin to lift the hips and remove the block. Lower the hips back down nice and slow. Moving into final relaxation. You may take the feet wide and allow the knees to knock in towards one another. This allows for a great release if you have a tense low back. Or for traditional Shavasana, you can extend one leg nice and long to the far corner of the mat, and then extend the other leg to the other corner. Allow the feet to fall to the outsides of the mat. Rest the arms beside the body, with a distance from the body taking up great space, with the palms facing up. Maybe we press into our elbows in the back of the head to lift the body, to snuggle the shoulder blades underneath. Creating a nice flat bed to rest on. Take any other movements or adjustments that you may need to make yourself comfortable. before we enter into stillness and our final relaxation. We can take a nice big inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, gentle sigh out. Again, big inhale through the nose. Open the mouth, let 2020 go, big sigh out. Again, big inhale through the nose. Inhale 2021. Open the mouth, let go 2020. As we all give ourselves permission to settle in and to be supported by our Mother Earth. As we welcome in new growth and evolution. And we let go the year that has passed. Give ourselves permission for relaxation and for stillness. And to release tenseness and tightness. And give ourselves permission to surrender now to Shavasana. And begin to bring your awareness back to your breath. Slowly begin to awaken the body by welcoming in gentle movements, by maybe rubbing the fingers across the thumb, wiggling the toes, rolling out the wrist or the ankles, maybe a gentle nod of the head. Send the legs long, reach the arms overhead and take a full body stretch. And then bend the knees and roll onto your favorite side. Resting on the arm beneath you, coming into fetal pose. Taking a moment here to express gratitude to oneself. Gratitude and love to yourself. Gratitude and compassion to yourself. And then when you're ready, using your hands, slowly make your way back up to a seated position, keeping your eyes gently closed, taking your time here. We'll take one final breath together here to close out our practice. Inhaling the arms up overhead, gathering up all this gorgeous energy we created. Palms touch, exhale, bringing it down to the body, to our heart center. This beautiful energy that's within me sees, honors, and cherishes that same beautiful energy that's within each and one of you. Namaste. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes. Thank you for practicing with me today, and may you bring this beautiful energy we created today with you throughout this entire year. Hope to see you again soon. Thank you.